Hey y'all, welcome back to Mrs. Lynn's Cooking. Today we're going to make a puff pastry with ham and Swiss cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our oven and we're going to put it on 400 degrees as to what your puff pastry says to do. Okay, so you got your puff pastry. You'll need Pam, or either you could use baker's paper. You'll need 1 egg. And you'll need, I've got here about a little over a cup of ham, and then I have my Swiss cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray down my pan. I do it this way because I'm always washing dishes. So, I mean, a lot of people will use their, baker's paper, which is fine. I'm just not one to use it too much. So we're going to set this over to the side. And then I'm going to take and open up my puff pastry here. And just bear with me. So you can get this open. Sometimes it wants to open and sometimes it doesn't. That's okay. Then what I'm going to do, set that there. I'm going to take my scissors and put that back out of the way because I'm done with those. And then I'm going to roll out my puff pastry. It's still kind of cold, and I want it kind of like that because it doesn't take long for it to get to room temperature. So we're just going to go ahead and roll this out just like so. And if it's a little stiff, which it is because of it being just coming directly out of the refrigerator, it'll be fine. It'll be all right. So I'll pull this down here towards me. A lot of people will cut it. I'm just going to do it this way. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut, let's see, I want to measure these. Let's do it like, I think that should be good. Okay. One may be a little bit bigger than the other. If it is, I'll just use the excess and cut that off. And it will have a little bit of excess on it. So you can make them like this, or you can use the whole sheet and cover the whole sheet. But I'm just doing a couple of them as a snack for the family. Okay, now first, and then once I've done that, I'm going to take and cut them right back down in the center, just like so. Okay. And then, of course, that's going to do that. Now, first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take my pieces that I've got cut. And I don't want the paper on that, so we're going to take the paper off. Okay. And yes, some are bigger than others. I didn't say I was great at cutting these things. That's okay. Nobody's perfect. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we've got this set over here to the side. Move this out of the way. I am going to take my ham that, honest, it was just lunch meat that I had left over. So I just chopped it up into small pieces. So I'm going to add my ham into the center, just like so. And it's going to be more or less like a hot ham and cheese, but with puff pastry. And it's going to be a little bit better doing it this way. And no, you do not have to cook it ahead of time. So you're going to have plenty of these. And you can use as little or as much as you like, but you've got to remember we're going to have to seal these. So I want to make sure that I have enough room on here after I put the ham in. Then I'm using Swiss cheese, so use any cheese you like. So I'm going to take Swiss cheese over the top, just like so, which it doesn't really take a whole lot. Okay, a little bit more there, and there, and there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my puff pastry here that I had cut, because now it's at room temperature, and then I'm going to place it over the top, just like so. Okay. And then we're going to put this one over here. There we go. And then we have our last little piece here. I'm going to put that over so. And it can be stretched because it's right now, like I said, it is at room temperature, so it's easier to deal with. But you want to work with it kind of fast, because if you don't, what ends up happening is they end up, you know, just kind of sticking to each other. Now, what I'm going to do is let me grab a fork, which I have here. And sorry about that. Let me get this here out of the way so I can show you what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go through here, and I'm just going to seal these edges with a fork. And it's pretty much the same thing you would do with a pie crust. I think I did that one just a little bit too close to the pan, but that's okay. I'm going to seal these down. Once we get them sealed, then we're going to take and just make sure they're sealed just like so. There we go. And it doesn't take long to do this. And it's going to cook fairly quick as well, because they're just puff pastry. Most people use puff pastry for sweets. This time we're going to try a savory snack with them. There we go. We got that one in there like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife, and I'm just going to put a couple of little slits on top for it to vent, just like so. Just 2 little slits, so that I know that it will vent out really well. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my egg, and we're going to beat this egg, because you want a little bit of a wash with it, egg wash, to put on it. It'll help brown it up a little bit. And then we're just going to do it just like so. Okay. All right. Got that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and I'm going to just do my egg wash just like so, all over it. And here we go. And this is going to bake pretty quick. So we've got that one done. And then we've got this one. I probably could have made a couple of more of them, but smaller. But I wanted to just do the larger ones for right now to see how they turned out. So, okay, getting this here done. And this is pretty much about it, because after we do this, we're going to put it in our oven, and we're going to let it bake. And I have my oven already set at 400. So once I get these out of the oven, we'll be right back. Okay, our puff pastry, ham and cheese, we're going to call them sandwiches because that's pretty much what they look like, has already come out. It took about maybe 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut into this because it's still hot, and open it up for you so you can take a look, and it's smoking, of how that looks. So if you like my video, please like and subscribe.